Their health pool is an interesting trade-off, I find. Mechanically, I find Recoded quite intriguing, but that's as far as I'll go for legitimate praise because structurally, it's got a number of snags. Firstly, every world is riddled with these blocks that you can either destroy to clear up the pathway, or bounce on for some awkward platforming that isn't helped by the limited camera system, or maybe they can act as direct obstacles. Some even hit you on contact. Oh, I get it, it's a hitbox! Yeah, I see what you assholes did there. Anyway, the overabundance of these blocks does wonders in making these worlds all feel like one another. There's a couple of deviations, I'll get to those in a second, but this is what you're dealing with for a good chunk of the adventure: blocks. To remove a world of its bugs and glitches, Sora needs to enter the back door of that world when it begins acting up, which involves a pixel hunt that wears out its welcome fast, more so when you gotta do it multiple times in one world, and then you finally enter the digital world's keyhole to defeat the boss located inside and finish things off. The back door of a world is basically a gauntlet of Heartless, located in this digital space that all worlds share, and it doesn't get much better than this visually. It sort of reminds me of Space Paranoids from Kingdom Hearts 2, a world I enjoyed for its look and feel, but in no time these two will overstay their welcome because these aren't much different than what you're already doing on the outside, destroying Heartless. Now, to make things slightly more interesting for yourself, you can wager special points to complete these instances with certain stipulations, and if you manage to accomplish the objective, you get a shitload of points to spend on upgrades and the like, and that's fine, but it doesn't do much to make these feel any less filler. On the occasion, Recoded likes to throw an odd curveball. Traverse Town has a 2D side-scrolling section that isn't very interesting as far as platformers go. Wonderland has a couple of stealth sections ripped right out of 358 Days, as well as these shoot-em-up sections that I found pretty cool, being honest, but still come out of nowhere. And Olympus Coliseum pays tribute to Square's early days by having every battle inside set up as a classic RPG battle. Kind of makes the world drag, but I mean, some of these ideas are neat, but they're so oddly implemented and not very rich mechanically on their own. They're like little samplers of other games. I think it makes Recoded feel disjointed. Varied, yes, but disjointed, as if the developers are just throwing ideas into the mix based on what they have on the developer dartboard. Still, it certainly didn't put me to sleep like 358 Days. I think the battle system is more interesting, thanks in part to the command deck system returning from birth by sleep. Again, you can't do as much in that game, but I find this more engaging. Recoded is also not as long as 358 Days. While that game took me close to 30 hours to complete on a normal pace, Recoded only took me over 13 hours. It helps that Recoded didn't reuse every world from Kingdom Hearts 1, but let's face facts here. No amount of solid gameplay can hide the fact that Recoded is just a retread. It doesn't add anything to the lore, clarifies one single thing at the end of the story, and is in no way close to matching the quality of the console games, or even Birth by Sleep. There's very little to do outside the main campaign, and the game gives you very little reason to go out and explore shit. Though a completely fine game, there's absolutely no harm in skipping it, so skip it. So I wanted to apologize for making you guys wait a bit for this video. Around this time of the year, my Let's Play channel, SGB, celebrates October with Halloween Fest, and that's been taking a bit of my time with how many videos Ellie and I have been producing since the start of October. I understand if you're a little peeved that there was a little gap between the last video and this video was not as big as the other ones. I understand that. It's just, I try to balance things out when I can, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Well, I won't keep you guys any longer. We have one more game left to go for this marathon. Yeah, I know there's still Back Cover and Union Cross, the other mobile phone game. Is it Union Cross? Unchained Key? I don't know. Either way, I think it's best if I just wait until Kingdom Hearts 3 is close to release before I decide to go back to those. This marathon's gone on long enough. I'm sure a lot of you will agree. That said, last game for the marathon, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, because we're looking at the HD compilation version, of course. So don't fall asleep just yet. We may have some potential bullshit up in the horizon. Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care. It's the featured area. You see exactly where my money was going. First up was Pony Island, which was nothing what it sounded like. You take control of this guy who's somehow trapped in this ancient arcade cabinet that was developed by Lucifer, and you have to play his game to survive and find a way out by tearing apart the game's shoddy programming with a combination of puzzle solving and these 2D side-scrolling sections. It's chock full of fourth wall break and dark comedy, and does a pretty good job leaving you in suspense with the pseudo-augmented reality approach to it. Oh shit, this dude wants to know my name? Pablo Sanchez of Backyard Sports. Sorry, gotta keep my true identity a secret when I'm playing a game to visit by Satan. Hey, it is October, so it's appropriate, and oddly, this wasn't the only game I tried that has some form of satanic influence. I mean, what, is Lucifer just a big proponent of indie titles? I ended up playing Lucius next. The version available on Jump is the 2016 demake of the 2012 original PC game. I don't think I've ever heard of the term demake until this game, but it's basically just a way to describe its graphics and presentation. The game looks straight out of an MS-DOS adventure title, only instead of slaying dragons knights and warlocks with keyboard commands. You're literally the Antichrist, hell-bent on slowly killing everyone that lives in your house while making it look like an accident. Essentially the video game tie-in to The Omen. But no shit, I spent a good couple of hours on this one because, call me devious, I really enjoyed the blend of puzzle and stealth mechanics you had to master in order to get kills without ever getting caught. And some of these deaths are damn gruesome, even with the simple graphics. Now, I never played any of the Lucius games until now, but if this is anything to go by, maybe I should consider them for future Halloween videos. Well, that was enough Satan for now. Next up was Necrosphere, a remarkably simplistic Metroidvania-esque title where you control this poor sap who died on the job, and has to crawl his way out of the Necrosphere to get another chance at life. Oh shit, I'm sorry, I thought it was done with the whole trips through hell thing. Well, it's more of a limbo the more I think about it, but in Necrosphere you only have two buttons, left and right. That's it. Your character can only move left and right. He can't even jump, so you're at the mercy of the level design 100% of the time. Precise movements and timing are key to getting through this game, and eventually you'll unlock some basic movement upgrades like a small dash to get through gaps, to rock breaking tackles to a motherfucking jetpack. But then the game starts to get ridiculously hard. I'm telling you, the timing on some of these obstacles are super tight, even with a control scheme of only two buttons. Your fingers will be absolute pretzels when you're done here. Still, this was another one I ended up spending a good amount of time on. The graphics are a little too simple for my liking, but it's fast-paced and does a good job showing you how things are done without being too intrusive. A highlight for me was definitely Life Goes On Done to Death. If not for the decent Super Meat Boy-esque platforming and puzzle solving to get the golden chalice at the end of every level, which led to some very rewarding gameplay the further you proceeded, but because your method of completing stages requires that you constantly die and use the corpses of your previous players to act as footstools, weights for switches, or my favorite, cushioning for spikes. It was so hilariously morbid that I had a smile on my face the whole way through, and the game's got a good sense of humor as well, so that's always a plus in my book. This is one I'm definitely going to go back to whenever I get to the next indie showcase, and that way I can talk about it then and there. But again, with Jump, I got to experience all of that for just under $10, and I have not come close to scratching the surface on what's being offered here. It's close to $1,000 in value, and you're getting all that for just a low monthly subscription. That's a good deal, and one I'm glad that I agreed to look at. So for the folks over at Jump, thank you. If you're interested in the gaming service, maybe you want to learn more about it, the group of people responsible for the service, or the kind of games available for you to try out, you can find all of that in the link available in the description below. They're offering a free 14-day trial in case you're on the fence about it, which I think is plenty of time to consider purchasing a subscription, and if at any point you want to drop out, you can do so with no long-term commitment. That said, I got a Kingdom Hearts marathon to finish, so I'm going to get back to that right now. Hope you guys didn't mind this little sidetrack. It certainly wasn't the first time, but it's thanks to you guys that I'm able to do stuff like this at all. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each and every single one of you for watching. You have yourselves a fantastic night, and you take care. The command deck system from Birth by Sleep and Beyond. Very much like Chain of Memories and 358 Days, I was on autopilot for a good part of this game. I found exploring via flow motion to be a thrill ride for a time, but that wore out its welcome just a couple of worlds in when I realized there wasn't much to obtain besides items from my Dream Eaters, or these time challenges that when completed just gave me more items from my Dream Eaters. I combined with my complete indifference to Dream Eaters as a game mechanic, that just made the rewards feel lesser. The highlight of the game is without question the Symphony of Sorcery world, the one based on Fantasia. It's a pleasure to my eyes and ears, and one of my favorites in the entire series. I'm totally serious. The other worlds weren't so bad either, but they don't compare. Notre Dame and the Musketeer world were too similar in design at a couple of points, making the multiple visits feel even more tedious, and the grid didn't leave the same impact to me as Space Paranoids from Kingdom Hearts 2. Prankster's Paradise wasn't much for me aesthetically. It's an okay world, but nothing I feel I haven't seen already, and Monster's a place that's been done before a number of times. There aren't many worlds in Dream Drop Distance. It'd be one of the shortest games in the franchise if you didn't have to play each world twice, but even so, I clocked in over about 17 hours. A little longer than the first game without doing the extra stuff, but not as long as Birth by Sleep. For a handheld game, it's about what I expected. But Dream Drop Distance is a one and done for me. I'm still excited for Kingdom Hearts 3, but playing this in no way did anything to accentuate that excitement. Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage, actually did a better job with that, and that was a glorified 2-hour demo. But I probably won't find myself playing this again until either a Let's Play or a live stream, and that's more because I've been doing it for you guys, and not because of personal preference. Give it a shot if you're curious, not the worst of the bunch I think, but nothing remarkable. So with the marathon finally concluding, if I were to rank these games in a totem pole, top to bottom, best to worst, let's see. Kingdom Hearts 2 for how much it changed for the better, Kingdom Hearts 1 because I'm a nostalgia whore, Birth by Sleep for being a pleasant surprise, a tie between Chain of Memories and Dream Drop Distance. I can switch between the two. I wouldn't really give a damn at the end of the day. Then Recoded because it's just there. And finally 358 Days Over 2. That's still the absolute low point of the series. A complete waste of time. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little run-through of the Kingdom Hearts franchise from my perspective. Again, if you're at all interested, go get yourselves the HD compilations. PS4, PS3, doesn't really matter. And try to have fun. There is fun to be had in a couple of these games. You might see something that I didn't see, enjoy something I didn't enjoy. You never know. So give them a shot, and then later down the road, we can look forward to the eventual release of Kingdom Hearts 3 together. But I don't know, man. That 2018 release date just doesn't seem real to me, though. Well, whenever it comes out, that's when I'll head back to the franchise. I know there's still back cover and Union Cross, but fuck it, man. I need a break from Kingdom Hearts. Go ask Ant Dude. My sentiments exactly. I do believe it's time for another Donators Marathon, but beforehand, there's a couple of individual games we want to look at before we get into another big series of games. You probably guessed at least 3 of those games already. I'm pretty predictable, but with all that said, again, thank you for tuning into this Marathon Retrospective for as long as it has. I'm actually curious as to what the entire title of games is when you guys made like the giant Kingdom Hearts like title meme because of how many games I threw in between every like Kingdom Hearts game. So I'm curious as to what that is in the comment section. Good luck with that. And as always, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night and take care. Hey folks, in case you missed the thank you video for recently reaching 300,000 subscribers, I have finally officially opened up a merchandise store over at Pixel Empire. You can find a link to the storefront in the description below. If you want to help this channel out, please consider buying some merch. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, you can use the discount code Johnny15 to save 50% off your total purchase.
That'll work. That'll right, Johnny? It was the weirdest thing I ever had to record.